It's time to spend some time with Rick.
Hey, welcome back to our stupid reaction. Oh, wrong channel. Hi, I'm naked under here. Welcome to Questions with Rick. For those of you who follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I posed a proposition to you. I asked you to ask me some questions and I would make it the content of my next video on my channel. So here we are and here we go.
Why do you hate South India so much?
We don't hate South India. I don't know why you would think we hate South India. We've explained on the channel a few times that it's challenging to react to South Indian content for several reasons. Sometimes that content is actually blocked in our country. A lot of the times we don't have subs.
Oh, there he is! Red October.
And ultimately, if there's any sense at all that we're ignoring content, blame Corbyn. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's the one who chooses everything we react to on the channel. I show up and react. I don't even know what it is we're reacting to whenever we start a video. No clue. When you hear him tell you what we're reacting to, I'm hearing that for the first time myself. But I also would like to say this. I think Corbyn is doing more than an exceptionally good job at what he is selecting. And we very much want to cover as much of Indian cinema from every region as possible and make it as balanced as possible.
Hey Rick, do you and Corbyn have regular jobs? If yes, what are they?
There's something on the internet that claims my net worth is 14 million.
Show me the money.
That's pretty funny.
Good one.
Forget net worth. I've never made that much in my entire life. And I am what you would call lower middle class.
And I am an Uber driver, and this is what a typical day on the road with me looks like.
I like to drive my car when it's windy outside. Oh! There are trees flying by my eyebrows. I like trees.
How are the two kids with your last names related to you?
There's actually 3 kids, for those of you who would know. There's Ashley, Alexis, and Micah, and all 3 of them are my children. Ashley is the eldest. Alexis is the middle. Micah is the baby. And they are respectively 22, 20, and 17. And it'd be interesting for you to know that Ashley and Alexis are exactly 2 years apart. They were both born on July 20th.
That's shocking.
Micah was born on March 25th.
Who's your inspiration?
I have had several people who've been an inspiration to me. People that you would know that would come off the top of my head would be Robin Williams, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I've abandoned my child!
An incredibly important person in my life from childhood into adulthood, and even still today, is Sylvester Stallone. Ultimately, the biggest inspiration in my life is my dad. My dad is... I just don't have enough words to describe what an amazing human being my dad is. My dad is a creative genius, written countless songs, plays piano and guitar self-taught, great singer, voice character actor. He did that for many years here in Los Angeles, where he did voices for cartoons. He has come up with unfathomable numbers of incredible stories, especially for children. He is a wealth of knowledge in terms of artistry and music, and I grew up listening to his songs, listening to his artistry, and spending time with my dad, who at the core of being an inspiration to me is twofold. Number one, there's never been a day in my life I didn't know that my dad loved me and was there for me, and we talk virtually every single day still. He lives in New York, I live in LA, but we talk on the phone almost every single day. And I have watched him battle mental illness for the majority of his life. And that in and of itself, his capacity to stay optimistic and positive and press forward when he is not just technically, but literally considered handicapped by the government. He lives off benefits and spends most of his time managing his illness, and watching him navigate that. He's just been the single greatest inspiration for me to persevere and be the best version of myself I could possibly be. And he taught me how to love. That's my dad.
Tell me something. Are you planning to learn Hindi someday?
Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm actually learning very, very slowly right now. I had a Hindi app on my phone that I got through I found out it was the unpaid version, and then you have to pay for it.
Show me the money.
I very much want to learn Hindi. I want to be fluent in Hindi for a lot of reasons, not the least of which being the two main reasons I want to learn Hindi are, first and foremost, I want to be able to communicate with all of you beautiful, stupid babies in your mother tongue. And there's hundreds of millions of Hindi-speaking people who've learned English, and I know why. There aren't a lot of English-speaking people who learn Hindi, and I want to honor that language and the people and the place that has changed my life, and be able to speak in your language and hopefully make it something that when I do speak it causes a sense of pride. I want to be connected to you guys in that way. I also very much want to act in Hindi-speaking films at some point down the road. And I think it was Amitabh Bachchan who said the only thing you need to be in Indian film is speak Hindi and know how to act.
Yes, I think that's a fair assessment.
So I need to learn how to speak Hindi.
When are you guys coming to India?
Well, we were planning to come right now, end of August. And the only reason we did not, and we kept putting it off, was, in case you didn't know this, Corbin and Stephanie are expecting a baby. And the baby's due at the end of October, like right around Halloween, and Corbin, understandably so, did not want to be on the other side of the world at any point during the pregnancy. He was not comfortable with that, neither would I be, and I respect that completely. So we've postponed that. He has said to me that if I wanted to go, I could, and that's very much in consideration. The plan is for our first trip to India together to be in March during Holi. It falls on my birthday, so the 2 days of Holi are March 9 and March 10, and that's the plan right now. And we've got time now to plan it right, and they will have had the baby and be settled into life. He also wanted Stephanie to come on the trip, so we'll see what happens. But right now, we are 100% gunning to make the trip in March, which very well may be right around the same time when the channel hits 1 million subscribers based on current projections, which would be pretty freaking awesome.
You both are cool and eccentric. Are you both like this in your real life also?
Why, thank you. Yeah, what you see is what you get. I mean, obviously there's points of silliness and tomfoolery, and we're aware of the fact that we're on a channel and on camera, but we're not pretending to be something we're not. That will never happen. What you see is what you get. Even in our zaniness, that's who we are all the time. You can ask my kids, just go to my Instagram and see what I post there. I don't just do stuff for the camera. A person that would really vouch for that would be my buddy Rich Oldhofer, who you would know as Golden Hopper. There's a video on this channel about spending time with Germanic Wonder Boy. He's also called Golden Hopper. But Germanic Wonder Boy, Rich Oldhofer, has known me since we were 11 and 12 years old. And he will call out anything. There isn't anything to call out. He would let you know if I'm being fake or if I'm being real.
There's a brain in here.
And I can tell you what you see on the channel and what you see here is like the bedtime story with Uncle John.
Good evening, boys and girls.
That's just something I do all the time. There are times when I feel an inspiration to just come up with some dumb improv story, and I'll just start writing and texting to a friend. I'll send it to Rich, or I'll send it to my friend Nathan in San Antonio, Texas, and I will just start texting something because I feel inspired that is ridiculous to make them laugh. And so I'll start with a story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Lubando, and Lubando was afraid of rascals who had elaborate friends. He liked plain friends. So what you saw was who I am.
Hey, yo, Rick, you're a pretty fit guy. You ever gonna do like a fitness video or something, you know?
Yes, I have. A lot of people have asked about that, and fitness is a huge value for me. You absolutely will see some things that pertain to that. I have a lot of ideas in my head and what I want to do. I really would like to involve me doing the things I tell you to do. I just don't know how to do that yet, but it's certainly coming.
What's the story with Mrs. Siegel? Why don't you show us pictures or something?
Well, clearly you are unaware of the fact that my wife and I are divorced. There's a video on the channel called, I believe it's called Thought You Should Know. That, whoa, ding, just like on OSR. That was pretty cool. The video Thought You Should Know is me talking to the stupid family about the season of my life that I went through, and it pertains to the fact that my wife and I divorced, and that's why you don't hear or see anything about Mrs. Siegel or Ashley and Alexis and Micah's mom. Even still, she's a very private person, and you never would have seen her anyway. But that's the main reason that you don't say anything about Mrs. Siegel, because there is no Mrs. Siegel. We're divorced.
Why did you never work in commercial movies instead of just theaters?
I actually did work in commercial movies and television. That's where I got my start as an actor. I started acting at the age of 4 on a TV show called The Partridge Family, and I grew up in the entertainment industry. That TV show pretty much catapulted me into the national consciousness in a big way, like autographs and guest appearances on The Tonight Show and other TV shows like that, and it led to a lot of television commercials, a lot of guest appearances on TV shows, and I did 2 films, The Last Married Couple in America and Oh God, Book 2. And I didn't really start getting into theater until I was about 11, 12 years old. I did a play called The Grass Harp, and then after that, I was in a big production of a play called Chaplin. And that's a whole other story in and of itself, and that's where the love for theater came in when I was about 12, 13 years old. So prior to that, from 4 to 13, almost 10 years, my work was nothing but TV and film.
But Rick, what makes a story worth watching?
Okay, this is a great question. What makes a story worth watching? For a story to work in any way theatrically, whether it's on stage or it's just being told to somebody or it's being portrayed in TV and film, it's always going to start with some form of conflict. The main characters are going to have some form of conflict. So then from the conflict, you then have to have some form of climax. Okay? The climax, the conflict happens and then it grows toward a climax. And after the climax, you get to a place called resolution, where sometimes the resolution is, spoiler alert, if you've not seen Rocky, turn your ears away, but the resolution is that Rocky goes the distance. He doesn't win the fight, but he goes the distance. And it resolves itself and comes to some kind of an ending. And resolution doesn't mean that it has to fully resolve the story itself. A great example is 3 Billboards Over Ebbing, Missouri. One of my favorite things about that film is that the story doesn't resolve itself. Now, it has a resolution. It reaches a place where there was conflict, climax, and then you can sense the resolution's coming, but the director and the screenwriter don't tell you what it is. They let you decide what you think it could be, which is a beautiful natural resolution. And as you know from the channel, Corbin likes resolutions that are dark and unpredictable. I like resolutions that are, you know, the riding off into the sunset. I'm a romantic. I like the resolutions that all things worked together for good. But the main thing is to have some form of conflict, climax, and resolution. That's what makes for good storytelling, and that's what theater and film are. They're storytelling. There you have it. I'll do some more questions at some point, but for now, that's all you get. So, see ya!
Goodbye, and good luck.